let's go on to Miss Henyard's latest property scam, which was brought to me anyway, by Hannibal. Good old Hannibal is hungry. I got to jump over to his page in a little bit and send him a super chat because he does really good coverage on Miss Henyard, and he was highlighting some dirt that she was doing to this lady that's really trying to help people in the community up there. So let's check this out right quick. Miss Henyard, super mayor in the building. Let's go.
You to buy penny candy, and you think we about to let you buy properties? I could care less. You pick your vote, choose what you want. This is again. The village of Dalton is not in the real estate business. We're not buying no properties. Okay, then why y'all motion and second it then? Don't motion and second that. We had a discussion because we want the people to know why we're not. Because you would get up here and lie and be like, they don't want to buy the properties and they don't want to spend no money. So we motion and second, like we can do in Robert's Rules of Order, and discussion. The discussion is we don't trust you to buy penny candy, and no, we're not buying no property.
Oh, snap.
Y'all done already stole about 60 houses, so ain't nobody gonna deal with you buying no
60
property.
houses.
So that's the end of my discussion. I second that motion.
Okay. So there's a reason why I showed you this clip, because in the town of Dalton, a conflict has emerged between Mayor Tiffany Henyard and a local nonprofit organization, the American Association for Single Parents, led by Dr. Nicole Scott. Dr. Scott has invested in revitalizing a significant property in Dalton to create a community resource center. But her efforts have been stopped and slowed down by the mayor and her administration. We're going to provide a recap on this situation and provide more evidence that Henyard and her group are just incompetent and they have alternative motives. Dr. Nicole Scott is the founder and president of the American Association of Single Parents, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting single parents through various charitable, social, and educational programs. The organization operates a free grocery store called the Free Indeed Market, which provides groceries at no cost to those in need. Dr. Scott's vision includes transforming an 83,000 square foot strip mall on 142nd and King Drive. This center aims to offer numerous services to the community. Unfortunately, there were a lot of roadblocks. Despite Dr. Scott's efforts and the clear community need for these services, the efforts on the center has been stalled. It's been stalled by Mayor Tiffany Henyard and the village administrator, Keith Freeman.
Since we closed on the property in June of 2023, we have not been able to do that. We have had a meeting. I wrote a letter. We've made several attempts to really make this work. However, we're at a standstill.
They have denied essential permits and business licenses, so effectively stopping development. Dr. Scott has faced numerous obstacles, including fines for attempting to make repairs without permits, prohibition from placing necessary dumpsters for cleanup efforts, lack of response to requests for necessary permits and licenses.
Now, when he dives into this, he's going to give a few more details. And what you're going to notice is what Henyard and her cohorts have been doing. They've been making this almost this hamster wheel for Dr. Scott. And it's so messed up how they're doing it, because there was some flooding or something there, and there's some repairs that she needs to have done at that particular property. So in order to have the repairs done, quote unquote, she needs to have a permit. Well, Tiffany and cronies won't issue the permit because the inspection keeps listing items she needs for new construction. This isn't new construction, it's repairs. And then as you go on, you find out that the particular repairs that she's trying to conduct, they probably don't need a permit in the first place. So what Hannibal is unearthed is that it looks like there's some kind of scheme for Tiffany and Freeman and fellows to actually try, because if the property doesn't get up to code, then it can be obtained from up under Dr. Scott. And it seems like this is what the scheme is supposed to be.
Talk about some of the responses she has received from the administration. You will be surprised on how ridiculous and incompetent they are. But let's continue. Dr. Scott believes that the administration's resistance is rooted in a desire to take over the property themselves. She believes that the delays and refusals are a strategy to financially cripple her organization, forcing them to abandon the project. which will allow the administration to acquire the property. And that's why Dr. Scott has been calling for support from the community and beyond to pressure the administration into allowing the project to proceed. Dr. Scott emphasizes that the goal is not to create conflict, but to provide a much needed services and resources to the people in Dalton. So what does Mayor Tiffany Henyard respond is? Well, if you guys remember the one episode of the On the Move podcast, which is interesting, where's the second episode? The responses to the allegations made by Dr. Nicole Scott.
This has to do with you not taking care of your business. You. Starts with you. Can't blame nobody but yourself.
Whoa.
I need you to call the company that did your inspection and make it right. Go fix the building. Give them the plans and the things they need. Matter of fact, put that on the screen. Show the people what they told you needed to do, but you never showed that on the news. You never showed that on the news because it ends and starts with you.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard provided her own perspective on the situation, refuting the claims and presenting her side of the story. She accuses Dr. Scott of not fulfilling her business obligations and failing to comply with necessary regulations, which has led to denial of permits and licenses. According to Mayor Henyard, Dr. Scott has not submitted the required documentation and plans for the renovation and operations of her facility. The mayor emphasizes that without proper architectural plans and compliance with regulations, the village cannot issue the necessary permits. Then Mayor Henyard provides videos showing leaking ceilings, showing basically that it looks like Dr. Scott has not tried to do anything to fix the issue and not taking appropriate actions to comply with village regulations. And of course, the mayor insists that her door is always open for dialogue and cooperation.
And I pray that we all come to one common ground and fix our village and all get along for the betterment of Dalton. Because at the end of the day, the residents are the only ones that suffer.
Jeffrey Murphy at the house, everybody.
Battling.
Jeffrey Murphy.
So here's a letter that Dr. Scott received from the administration, and it just illustrates the level of incompetence from this administration. So you see the letter right here, and you'll notice right off the bat, this letter was sent in January. Dear Mr. Freeman. Who's Mr. Freeman? The person they're supposed to send the letter to is Dr. Nicole Scott. So it looks like this letter is altered. And the person who decided to alter the letter forgot to change the name from Dr. Scott to Mr. Freeman and kept Mr. Freeman. If you pause the Tiffany on the Move video podcast, you'll notice that she is using the same altered letter addressed to Dear Mr. Freeman.
Mr. Freeman.
You cannot make this up. Dear Mr. Freeman, as per your request, I reviewed the drawings submitted by the organization for the said mentioned address. These drawings do not meet necessary requirements for the effective plan review. At the minimum of the following items need to be submitted, and they have all these terms that need to be done. The problem is none of this makes any sense. Why? Because the list of requirements are for new construction. The problem is she attempted to get permits to do renovations and make repairs.
The U.S. Army finally solved the mosquito
construction. She even sent them an email letting them know that this is wrong. Dr. Scott's organization is submitting requests seeking permits to conduct repairs related to the recent flooding, as well as permits for renovations. She's been waiting for the Village of Dalton to issue permits to allow installation of drywall, taping, and patching. And apparently the last time they inspected the building, this is back in September 29th, they approved the close-up of the walls only to call her back later that night stating, quote, Dr. Scott, you cannot close up those walls.
What?
So nothing makes any sense. This is the kind of nonsense that we're dealing with here. Then about a month later, this is February 1st, they sent her, I guess, the correct letter with her name. It's supposed to be Dr. Scott, disrespectful. The village reviewed and basically the same thing, which does not make any sense. Copy and paste, looking to have permits to help repair and renovate the property, not build a whole new property. As you see here, if they cannot get the permits, they will get fined. $500 fine. What's the violation? Work without a permit. So they're trying to make things as difficult as possible because it looks like allegedly that Henyard and Freeman and their friends and associates want that property. They don't want it to provide services to people. They want it for profit, probably some kind of business that can make them more money because to them it's all about the money. Now,
we wouldn't trust you to buy penny candy. If you think we about to let you buy properties, I could care less. You pick your vote, choose what you want. This is again. The village of Dalton is not in the real estate business. We're not buying no properties.
Yo, the trustees that have had enough, they letting her have it. Man, this is why I completely buy Hannibal's theory as to why they keep doing this circulars inspection stuff with Dr. Scott and that they're trying to obtain this property. Because Miss Henyard has had a history of fleecing the most vulnerable and the most needy in that town when it comes to property. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about this that she was involved in when she was still a trustee and wasn't even elected mayor yet, which is another reason why I don't know how she got elected, because this was on the news.
Mold, water leaks. Nearly 3 months ago, we first exposed serious problems in a South suburban rental home owned by a Dalton Village trustee.
Since then.
All right, quick. Patricia, thank you for stopping by. A happy 3-day weekend to you. Happy 3-day weekend to us all. It's going to go by fast, though, but we ain't going to marinate on that.
And the render says it's only gotten worse. CBS 2 political investigator Dana Kozlov has also learned that trustee is pocketing tens of thousands of your tax dollars for a house that's now unlivable.
Yo tax dollars.
You need to get your clothes out for school.
Jacqueline Smith and her 2 children called this hotel room home for almost a month. Ever since the Dalton house they were renting from village trustee Tiffany Henyard was slapped with this.
Oh, hold on for a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait
a minute, y'all.
Renting from village trustee.
Yo, that's a whole lot different than what we see nowadays. That trustee picture look a whole lot different than when she got in them pockets and started fleecing the city, boy. That hair and makeup got sick. Anyway, sorry.
Tiffany Henyard was slapped with this.
Coming up on y'all,
big
boy.
red sign that I cannot live there because it's unlivable.
Unlivable mostly because of mold.
Mold.
Even
Look at that.
on the bottom of the shoes is mold.
Mold that Smith's landlord, Trustee Henyard, pledged to immediately clean up after we first reported on the problem in August.
And that's where it started.
Smith says workers came and painted. The house even passed a village inspection. Issues.
Oh, what? It passed its inspection because she painted? Huh? Anybody that's a property owner knows you cannot get rid of mold by just painting it.
Abated, notes Inspector Brian Thigpen in this September report, except they weren't.
Yo.
It's horrible.
Enter activist David Lowry, who called Dalton directly. Suddenly, the house deemed livable on September 3rd became unfit for occupancy on October 15th. Lowry's theory?
Unfit.
The trustee used her power and influence.
We caught up with Henyard before last week's board meeting. I want to talk to you about that house on Dearborn. Can we do that?
My attorney's right here, so if you have any questions, I have legal counsel.
Wait a minute. Wait, whoa. Wait a minute. Just a second ago, you made your little video to Dr. Scott talking about it begins with her. The accountability is with her. So you need to go back to your inspection with her. What? Wait a minute. Why are you not saying that? Miss Henyard, you can speak to my attorney. Well, we want to speak to you because accountability starts with where? Yeah, that's what I thought.
You want me to talk to your attorney and not you. You can't tell me how that house failed an inspection in October when it just passed it beforehand.
If you have any questions, talk to my attorney.
Yeah, bye.
We did.
The inspection process is within control of the village, not of the trustee. She has been instructed
I'm on my
by
phone,
the
y'all.
village
I got
attorney to be
busy all of a
treated
sudden.
just like any other property owner.
Dalton's attorney says the house's inspection history is under investigation.
Yeah, sure it is. Like
and village records show a slew of past problems. With the house passing, then failing, then passing inspections for years.
Wait a minute.
Even before the housing authority could.
Wait a minute. How did it pass, fail? Wait a minute. What's going on? This is why Hannibal's theory does not seem far-fetched. She's used to manipulating those systems around there with these properties. Ridiculous. And what's thickening about it is that she's praying upon the most vulnerable. It's disgusting. Get her out of
County
there.
approved it as a rental property eligible for government housing assistance money, or
Taken
Section 8.
everywhere.
An
Section 8.
HACC employee says as a
Tax
landlord,
dollars.
Henyard's received $36,866 taxpayer dollars in Section 8.
Ladies, may we get a word?
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Filed against the House last year.
We're staying in a hotel, so.
All the while, Dalton taxpayers even helped foot the bill to keep Smith's family off the streets.
Of course they did.
We thought that
of course they did.
the village should be compassionate. She had nowhere to go. She had children.
I feel that, but
what we thought was to actually bill Trustee Henyard.
I learned this afternoon that Jacqueline Smith and her kids are now staying with a friend. The village is no longer paying for the hotel, and she doesn't have the money. I'm still waiting on a list of any citations Trustee Henyard received because of that house.
Miss Henyard, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, the super mayor, the world's worst Monopoly player in real life. Do not play with her. You lose every time.